And I want to introduce to you Melanie Tveti. Today we're going to talk about all things branding because Melanie has a lot of background and information on this topic. So you talked about brand voice, right? And that's so, but then there's the brand story. So what's the difference? What is that?
So a brand story is really there's a book and he has a podcast and everything else. His name is Don Miller, and he has a book called Story Brand. He actually does a really good job of describing it. And honestly, what he said is actually no different than what the movie makers do or a really good advertiser know, where it's you're bringing a person through a journey. And so you're telling them a story. So the way that Don Miller explains it, and I like his way a lot because it makes more sense to me and most people. For him, it's a character. So that would be your customer has a problem. So what need are you filling? That they need a guide who is you, the expert, and you give them a plan and you're calling them into action in order to then either achieve success, or if they don't follow your plan, what is the false or their failure that they may have. And so that is kind of the framework of a general story. And so where it comes into is with the branding wise, you need to figure out how to tell the story and say, so which part of the story are you going to talk about? When you are promoting a product, you're going to be talking about more, you need to make sure that you are always including the problem that you're solving. And the fact that if they're looking for help, you can help them. That is where those pieces come in. And yeah, I guess that's kind of the framework of like a brand story. And where it really comes in, and I find that it goes even deeper than just what you're saying and how you're being portrayed. You really need to understand your own core story of who you are first. Because if you are presented as the guide who can help someone, if you don't understand what you bring to the table, you don't know how you're going to solve them. You don't know you don't know what problems you're going to solve. You don't know what you're an expert in. You don't know how you can actually help and what values you bring. So the rest of it is just harder to figure it out until you figure out what you bring to the table. I know when I see somebody struggling with their brand is when they are trying to do their marketing, or they're trying to implement something like trying to put together their course. I know you work with course builders, like Kajabi, people who want to put things in Kajabi or build their websites. When they don't know how to articulate it, they don't know how to write the copy. They don't know the colors they should use. Where the colors, it's like, well, it's okay. I like the colors, but something feels off. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't, like I heard somebody say, and this is actually how I came up with my title for my webinar I'm putting together, but it was, somebody said that I feel like I am shouting from the rooftops, and instead of people hearing me, I'm just getting a sore throat. Like somebody said that and said they're getting a sore throat because it's like they're not being heard. They're not articulating what they do. Guess what? It doesn't matter what copy they use. It doesn't matter what colors they choose, what logos they have, whatever else they put together, because they don't know what makes them different.
Wow.
They don't understand that piece to figure out what do they bring to the table, and what does their business stand for? Because if you know what your business stands for, that is how you can then guide your users to start saying those same things back to what they say about you.